Good evening, Belize. Tonight, signs of calm after tensions in San Marcos nearly boiled over. A fragile breakthrough in a land dispute that had a southern community on edge. Also, Dangriga fights back against the sea as a major project launches to defend a coastline under threat. Politics heating up. Fuel relief in Belize rural central turns into a war of words, and the gloves come off. Plus, questions over a police station project spark a back and forth in Belize rural south. And on Belize City's e-bus, one familiar face is quietly transforming the daily ride. News 5 starts now.
Cellular World, we believe technology shouldn't just be functional. At Cellular World, we believe technology shouldn't just be functional. It should make your home uniquely yours. Design your smart home with the full range of Samsung appliances and TVs. Equip your kitchen with smart and stylish fridges, advanced microwaves, and whisper-quiet dishwashers, bringing smart living to the heart of your home. Make daily tasks simple with efficient smart washers, powerful dryers, or an all-in-one laundry hub that adapts to your lifestyle. Experience true-to-life colors and spot-on sound with the Samsung Q LED Smart TV. Connect all your spaces instantly with the Smart Thing app for seamless control wherever you go. Get all your Samsung products today with the peace of mind that only the 1-year warranty from the authorized distributor can give you. So stop by your favorite location and start designing your smart home today. Only at Cellular World.
And welcome to News 5 Live for Thursday, May 7th. I am Sabrina Daly. Tensions that once threatened to boil over in San Marcos village are now showing signs of cooling after a high-level meeting delivered what officials are calling a pathway to calm. The small community in Toledo district, home to just under 1,000 residents and rooted in Maya heritage, has been at the center of a growing land dispute in recent months. Villagers have been insisting that portions of land being cleared by a private owner fall within their traditional communal territory, a claim reflecting a wider, long-standing struggle over Maya land rights in southern Belize. On Wednesday, Indigenous Affairs Minister Dr. Luis Zabane sat down with leaders from San Marcos, the Toledo Alcalde Alliance, and the Maya Leaders Alliance to tackle a simmering land dispute with that private landowner. The talks ended with an agreement aimed at easing the standoff and restoring calm in the community. So what exactly was decided and will it hold? Today, Minister Zabane shared those details.
Yesterday, we met with the San Marcos leaders, the chairman and alcalde, leaders of the TAA and the MLA at our offices in Belmopan. And they're having a dispute with a landowner that you call a third party in the CCJ context, so that we could lower down the temperature and try to formulate a plan going forward. What we agreed there was that over the next 3 weeks, we would have people from Ministry of Natural Resources to come in and identify a specific area that's in contention, if you will. We are grateful that both parties agreed to this process. Once that's established, then we can move to the next step. Because what we're asking everybody is to recognize that we have a process in place. Just Monday, we had our first meeting of the review panel. And this is an important step in the process where 2 members from government meet with 2 members selected from the Maya leadership, and we start to look at the draft legislation and find a way again where that then goes back to the subcommittee of the cabinet and then onwards to cabinet for presentation to the House. That needs to occur first before anybody can start to make statements that they have, an absolute right for this or for that.
The Maya Leaders Alliance is scheduled to meet with residents on Friday to discuss this issue and other pressing matters. We'll have the details coming out of those talks. Tonight, questions still linger over a disturbing incident in southern Belize. 3 weeks after the alleged abduction of Indian Creek's first alcalde, Marcos Canti, details remain unclear. Was an official police report ever filed, and what really happened during those hours he was missing? We put those questions directly to Indigenous Affairs Minister Dr. Luis Zabanet. Here's what he had to say.
We're waiting for that. We discussed that briefly yesterday, that it's taking quite a while, but we're hoping that the report will soon be forthcoming so that the country can know really what happened there.
There must be some questions from cabinet or even skepticism at this point without any updates, especially to the Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs.
Well, when it takes a while like that and there's nothing definitive, it's across the country. Everybody's waiting to hear what evidence or what information has been collected. So, we have asked Minister Mira, who is working with the Commissioner, and I'm sure they're doing their best to bring that report to us as soon as possible.
News 5 continues to wait for an update or an official police report on the matter. The Office of Indigenous Peoples Affairs is also looking into a video allegedly showing an alcalde from a southern village violently attacking a member of his community. Today, Minister Zabanet confirmed that an investigation has been launched into the matter. He says there is no place for that kind of violence in any community.
It was brought to my attention yesterday, and in fact, our Indigenous Peoples Affairs Office is looking into it today, and we're hoping to be there as soon as possible to go on the ground. So yes, that's something that is very concerning anywhere that happens.
What was your takeaway from the video?
The violence can never be a way to solve anything, right? Regardless of what it may be. So, as a country, we cannot condone using violence for whatever, whether it's domestic violence or violence because of something going on in a village. Absolutely zero tolerance for that. We have to find a way where we can communicate and work together, and that's the way how we solve problems.
We will continue to follow to see what the investigation reveals. Coming up, fuel relief finally hits the road starting Monday. But operators nationwide get a break at the pump with a $3 diesel subsidy.
Mother's May. This Mother's May. Celebrate the woman who makes the house feel like home all month long. Great deals like 15% off bathroom and kitchen fixtures from Moen, Hansgrohe, and Duraflow. Plus 15% off Hispasensa tiles, Stormguard windows, and 40% off Sunlight windows. And 15% off Berger paints and huge savings on clearance colors. So come in to Habet and Abet or Brothers Abet, call us or WhatsApp us today and make this Mother's May one to remember. Happy Mother's Day to all marvelous moms.
For decades, BEL has powered Belize's growth and progress, lighting homes, energizing industries, and fueling national development. But in a world reshaped by extreme weather patterns, digital transformation, and evolving customer needs, the future of energy demands a new approach. The future of energy is now, and it's not just about new technology, it's about people and how we use, manage, and store power smarter. BEL is leading the transformation, blending modern advancements with the wisdom of sustainable energy practices. Integrating technologies will redefine how Belize produces and uses energy. With distributed generation and smart grid technologies, customers are becoming power partners. Energy is no longer a one-way street. BEL is making key investments that will reinforce the grid to make this a reality, ensuring energy security for generations. At BEL, we are more than an energy provider. We work to safeguard Belize's energy future, which will have demand response programs where customers will be able to shift use during peak hours to take advantage of the new time of use or off-peak rate structures. Customer energy portals, real-time insights and tools to track usage and manage energy smarter. Smart metering, advanced metering infrastructure, faster, safer service and actionable energy insights. Distributed generation, integrating rooftop solar, microgrids and battery storage for two-way power flows into the national grid. Together, we are bringing you a brighter tomorrow.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progreso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Our story was built by people, neighbors helping neighbors, standing side by side with those who trust us to protect what matters most and help build our communities. Being there when needed most. Across borders, across generations. Still growing, still giving, still just getting started. After 185 years.
Ready, Dangriga? Something big is coming your way. Open your eyes, Summerfest 2026 is heading to the culture capital, Dangriga. Join us on June 12th at 6:30 a.m. at the iconic Alejo Beni Park for a morning filled with energy, excitement, and pure talent. This year, it's all about the kids, from singing to dancing, poetry to performances. If they've got talent, we've got the stage. Bring out the entire family and come celebrate creativity, culture, and the future stars of Belize. Expect fun, music, surprises, and unforgettable moments. Don't miss it. Open your eyes, Summerfest 2026, where young talent shines the brightest. Along the shores of Dangriga, the effects of climate change are no longer a distant warning. They are already impacting daily life. For years, residents have watched the sea steadily claw away at the coastline, threatening beaches, livelihoods, and community spaces. That growing concern took center stage today with the official launch of a major coastal resilience project aimed at protecting vulnerable communities. Backed by international funding and government support, the initiative targets erosion hotspots in Dangriga, offering hope that the shoreline residents' value can still be saved for future generations. Paul Lopez has the story.
For years, Melvin Diego has had a front row seat to a slow-moving threat, and he hasn't just stood by. Long before the coastal project officially launched in Dangriga, he was already doing his part, clearing the shoreline near his home and watching the coastline steadily disappear. As the sea crept closer year after year, his quiet efforts became a personal fight to protect the place he calls home. The change is slow, but it's already transforming the seashore and the way people utilize it.
For me, this used to be my gym, right here where we're sitting around, my running gym, because I love track and field. So this is a place where I would train and become stronger. And I believe it has to do with the sand. I made a lot of gold medals as well too, you know. So I was just thinking about it while I see people still trying to run on the beach and stuff like that, so they need to dodge different area because the sea already come all the way in already.
Diego was out from 5 a.m. today cleaning up after residents who used the area to socialize last night before. He volunteers his time, doing it all for free whenever he can.
So it's a sacred place for me, and this is where I would come and take pictures of sunrise, you know, all the time, and just to rejuvenate while going through ups and downs in my entrepreneurial life. Dangriga is a place where there's a lot of breeze and the sea come drastically hard. And so, of course, it worries that, you know, we were not going to have any beach in the next 10 years, 25 years from now for the children.
Those same concerns formed the backdrop for the launch of the Coastal Project, an initiative being spearheaded by the Protected Areas Conservation Trust, the Adaptation Fund, and the government of Belize. It's aimed at strengthening the resilience of Belize's coastal communities.
Over the years, we've seen the impact of climate change and the erosion of the beaches. Between the Tongue Pier and Pelican, you will see a big carve out, a big U. Where the stones are on the pier, that's where the sun used to be. You'll see a big carve out right out to the point here by Social Security, by the Ministry of Education, and all the way to Commerce Bight.
The $4 million project is targeting 27 coastal communities already feeling the effects of climate change. Leaders plan to boost coastal planning, strengthen monitoring, and roll out protections to slow the damage. In Dangriga, the focus is on safeguarding the northern shoreline.
The study that the Cubans did a couple years ago informed us that all the sand that has eroded along the beach is right in front of Dangriga. So it's just a matter of relocating that sand back to the beach. We prioritize on the northern part. The community took that decision along with the municipality, and it was focused on a lot of the specific type of infrastructure that is along this northern part. There are schools, parks, and other very important community areas. So this is where the majority of the interventions are going to focus.
For Melvin Diego, today's launch signals hope.
The beach is very relaxing, and people love put their feet in sand. And if the beach is eroded, people don't come to sit on the beach because it's eroded and there's a lot of water.
In the end, the real test isn't today's ceremony. It's whether the shoreline Melvin Diego has fought for will still be there for the next generation. Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
A political jab over fuel relief is heating up beyond Belize rural central. When asked about UDP's Edward Broster rolling out his own fuel initiative, Dangriga area rep Dr. Louis Zabanet didn't hold back. He welcomed the effort, but challenged Broster to take that generosity nationwide. Zabanet also pushed back against comparisons, reminding that a single constituency effort can't measure up to the government's responsibility to serve the entire country. And while he acknowledged the gesture, Zabanet made it clear that the Bersenio administration is also doing its part.
I would invite him to use his resources across the country. Let everybody get, if he's able to do that. Everybody needs relief. So not just BRC, let's do it all. Come to Dangriga and do that. We'd love that. Obviously, in my view, anybody that can come and assist in a way like that, regardless of what party you're on. But for us to say that here we're doing this and we're showing that we have compassion for the people, right? And everybody else does not. I think now that's crossing the line, because we know that this is a matter that's outside the control of the whole world, right? We just discussed that here today, where we understand that small countries like Belize especially, we have to be adapting to adverse impacts that other people are doing in other parts of the world, right? And so across the country of Belize, it's every community is feeling that. And for you to be able to truly have an impact across the entire country, that will take millions and millions of dollars. And so our government is doing its best.
Would you support the call for Mr. Broster to reveal the name of his donors and the budget?
I wouldn't want to get into all of that and what he's doing. I'm sure, in this environment, in any environment where you're having a crisis, we should never use that for personal or political gain, right? I think that if you do something out of the kindness of your heart, then that's great, but it doesn't have to cross the line, right? Where we're then saying, if I could do it here, then that means you should do that across the board, because then that then cross the line.
News 5 reached out to BRC area rep Dolores Balderramos Garcia for comment, and she didn't mince words, calling the fuel relief effort a political gimmick. Meanwhile, we'll be on the ground tomorrow to see what impact, if any, it's actually having in rural Central. Come Monday, bus operators across the country will begin getting some relief at the pump with a $3 diesel subsidy rolled out by the Belize Bus Association and the Ministry of Transport. The government says it's putting up $1.5 million over the next 3 months to ease rising costs, but insists everyone must share the burden. Still, commuters say they're feeling the pinch, with complaints that some operators are charging more than the approved fares. So where is the balance? We put that question to Transport Minister Dr. Louis Zabanet.
We do have persons who naturally, will express their views that, things are difficult. I must say that the adjustment is less than what was contemplated in the 3 weeks ago or so. But even so, we understand, and it is a shared burden between the operators who did not get how much they were asking for in the subsidy. Some were asking for up to $10. That was not palatable. They got $3 per gallon. And then in terms of the fares, some fares would have gone up by even $3 or $4, but they got up to $1 for the long runs. So, and then the commuters bear that. They have to bear some of it. And then the government, meaning the entire country, then contributes with the subsidy.
There are some residents complaining that on certain rides, they're paying more than what they understand they're supposed to be paying.
Yeah, we've heard that too, and so we have posted that up on the ministry's Facebook page, and there's a phone number that commuters can use to call in and report those instances, and immediately our people will investigate.
According to Minister Zabanet, once confirmed that a bus operator is overcharging, that operator can lose their license. The standoff over Keecocker's controversial police station is taking another turn, and this time it's about who knows what. Belize Rural South Area Rep Andrew Perez is refuting claims from the Village Council that they've been left in the dark about construction timelines. The council recently raised concerns online after weeks of no visible activity at the site. But Perez says the holdup comes down to logistics, not a lack of communication. And as for the council's push to have the land transferred into its name, Perez says that's simply not feasible at this stage.
I want to refute that. In terms of why the Keecocker has been updated, the entire community and the Keecocker Village Council have been kept abreast from all the different people, the Minister of Police, from myself as the rep, that the construction is going to continue. We have told them repeatedly that the people have spoken, and we respect that. While we had other plans in discussion which never went to a full negotiation, That's it. Yeah. And we spoke to the contractor. We told them that the contractor had to mobilize because the logistics, he has another project, in particular building another police station in Bella Vista. So putting all together the human resources and the equipment to mobilize takes a while, and especially to an island. And we explained that to them. And I can confirm to you that this morning the mobilization has started. The community is seeing, I've been informed officially that yes, the mobilization has started, the workers have arrived and make things in place. So much ado about nothing. The construction has resumes.
What considerations is being placed into the request for the parcel of land to be put into the council's name?
Well, that's what they're requesting, but unfortunately, and we made it clear that these funds obtained to build the police station comes from Kabe. And the official the deal that you have to do with Kabe is that that particular project, wherever it's built, must be under the name of the Department of Ministry or the Government of Belize. If we would not have to place that in the hands of the Ministry of the Police, and that project would not be able to materialize. But the parcel is there to stay for the community in the form of a police station.
Perez says works on the police station are expected to resume within the coming days. We will continue to follow. Still ahead, where is your Social Security money really going? The SSB reveals record investments, $130 million poured in just 4 months. But first, here's tonight's weather forecast from the National Met Service.
Over the past 5 years, Digi has invested more than $17 million to revolutionize Belize's digital future. Our advanced 4G LTE network and expanded fiber infrastructure have empowered vital road arteries, connected the farthest valleys and fertile farmlands, linked the bustling cities to the remote keys, and brought cutting-edge connectivity to schools, businesses, healthcare centers, and tourist destinations, fueling economic growth, enhancing education, and strengthening communities across the nation. By choosing Digi, you're leading Belize's digital transformation, bridging distances, opening opportunities, and empowering every corner of our beautiful country. Connect with Digi. Empower Belize.
Protect your motor, secure your property. Oh yeah, home protector insurance got you covered, you see. Covered, you see. From motor to property, and even marine. We'll keep you safe no matter where you've been. No matter where you've been, no matter where you've been. Get the peace of mind that only we can bring. Oh yeah, with our insurance you will never fret or sing. Never fret or sing. We offer bonds and so much more, so much more. Home protector insurance, we got what you're looking for, what you're looking for. Secure your...
For many Belize City commuters, the e-bus ride is more than just a daily trip. It's a familiar routine shaped by the people on board. One standout presence has become a reassuring constant, helping make the service feel safer, friendlier, and more personal. And even as the city embraces a more digital future, officials say that human touch is something technology simply can't replace. Zenaida Lanza has that story.
It's not just the ride that keeps commuters coming back to Belize City's growing e-bus system. It's the people who make it feel like more than public transport. As more residents turn to the service for their daily commute, one familiar face has become part of that experience. From school children to workers heading home, Bernalita Lewis welcomes passengers with a smile, turning an ordinary bus ride into something a little more personal.
Morning. I'm sure you've seen most of the comments are, she's such a pleasant person, the smile makes a difference. And these things just make such a big difference when you are taking public transport, meeting somebody who is welcoming, somebody who treats you with respect. So some of the things that she is responsible for on the bus, like other conductors, is collecting fares, whether by cash or using the cashless card system machine, assisting people who may be differently abled to get on the bus, ensuring overall order, and also data collection.
These past several months have been one for the books for this single mother. Last September, she received the keys to her very own home, moving from a leaking roof to a place that finally offers real protection when the storms come.
It means a lot, especially for my kids. My kids, I fight for forget this, because, man, the house we made in the first, I never call that home call, but sit down in the house just see the rain, the pour. Now I could sit down and enjoy the rain and listen to it on my rooftop. Feel good, excited.
And this week, the City Council placed the spotlight on her, a woman who works quietly behind the scenes in a job that goes far beyond just collecting bus fares. Lewis helps elderly passengers board safely, answers questions about the routes and features on the bus, often helping to settle confusion during busy rides.
Right up front of it. You want to come in? The idea is for us to go fully digital eventually, but just being realistic and honest in the society that we live in, that's going to be quite a process, a lengthy process, a mostly slow process. We're looking at elderly residents and many other people who are just simply more comfortable with cash.
In Taiwan, it's rare to see a conductor on an e-bus, and while the council plans to go fully digital someday, Garnett admits that many passengers, especially the elderly, still prefer cash, and that's where conductors like Lewis bridge the gap, blending technology with a human touch.
She is so important in maintaining order on the bus. She's been to the council for about 6 years now, originally a part of our enforcement unit, and so now enforcement officer attached to the e-transit department, and so she has that background of kind of knowing how to keep things a certain way, ensuring that people are comfortable on the ride. A machine can't do something like that. Physically help disabled persons on the bus, ask them how they're doing, if they have an issue with change or something like that, making sure that they feel comfortable if they have questions, explaining the features on the bus. We have Wi-Fi available, we have charging ports. So, certain things it's hard to replace a really good employee with like Miss Lewis.
And in a world moving toward automation and screens, commuters say sometimes it is the simple human interactions, a smile, patience, or kindness that people remember most. Reporting for News 5, I am Zenaida Lanza.
Your Social Security deduction might be on the chopping block, but don't expect changes just yet. After weeks of nationwide consultations, the Social Security Board is now weighing a major shift in how contributions are calculated. The proposal would move away from fixed wage bands to a percentage-based system, while also raising the minimum contribution. Officials say the talks held with government, unions, employers, and workers are part of a broader effort to modernize the system. But for now, it's still under review. Zenaida Lanza has more from today's media briefing.
Right now, Belize uses a wage band system, meaning workers fall into one of 13 different contribution categories depending on how much they earn. But SSB says it wants to simplify that system by moving to a percentage-based model instead. The proposal would also raise the contribution floor. That's the minimum amount used to calculate payments, from $55 to $130. That minimum has not changed since 2001. And finally, the split between what employees and employers pay would be adjusted. The reason? Efficiency.
The feedback is showing us that as much as ideally administratively having one band, one floor, ceiling, and one rate administratively is the most efficient. We also recognize that the 130 is not going to be for full-time employees, because there's nobody who's going to be working for a 40-hour work week at a minimum wage of $5 that's going to be earning $130. So we do recognize by legislation that those persons who are part-time working a number of hours can participate. Based on the numbers that we have on the band system, we recognize 130 as perhaps a more ideal point to be on. It was not rigid in that sense, but we recognize where 130 was a bit of the sweet spot, if I could call it that.
SSV says the current wage band system creates extra paperwork and calculations for both businesses and the board itself. In fact, Belize is one of only 4 countries in the world still using this system. However, the initial proposal suggested one flat percentage base across all incomes. The suggested percentage splits as shown, with the initial lean towards CARICOM's standard of 5.41% by employers and 4.59% by employees. But many workers pointed out that this could mean lower income earners would pay more than they currently do. For example, someone making $160 weekly currently contributes around 2.46%. Under the proposed flat rate, that deduction could increase. After hearing from more than 1,000 people during the consultations, SSB says one message came through clearly.
the feedback is guiding us that there's still a hope that we have at least three tiers for the lower income, where the employer is contributing at a higher rate than at the higher income, and then somewhere in between. So that's a lot of the feedback. That's why we've gone through the consultation process. That is what the results is showing us, that there's still an expectation that at least three tiers, a low income, a high income, and then somewhere in between. So that we will now factor in terms of determining what our final proposal will start to look like.
SSB says about 60% of those who attend the consultations supported the proposed changes with some minor adjustments. The board will now review the feedback, revise the proposal, and return later this year for another round of public consultations. So while changes to Social Security contributions may be coming, officials say Belizeans will not see those deductions change this year. Reporting for News 5, I am Zenaida Lanza.
Belizeans are always being told to pay into Social Security, so there'll be money there when they retire. But where exactly is all that money going? Today, the Social Security Board gave a breakdown of how it's investing hundreds of millions of dollars from the National Fund, from loans and local businesses to major real estate projects. Since January, they've already invested $130 million in 2026 alone, a record amount. They are growing the fund now, so pensions and benefits can still be paid out for years to come. The two biggest drivers of those investments were Hydro Belize shares and bonds.
So come from January 1 to April 30th, we have now invested an additional $130 million for 2026 alone. We have never done that number in any year. Two big drivers. The Hydro Belize equity is really our shares investment. We have invested $1.4 million in Hydro Belize shares, and we have invested $42.5 million at 6% in Hydro Belize bonds. Remember, Hydro Belize was a fortress. They came out of the market, presented an opportunity for us where energy is the source. Not the distributor, because we're in BEL, but this is when Hydro Belize funds 100% or supplies 100% of its energy to BEL. So that $40 million, the 1.4 million shares investment will give us 30% or 2 seats on the board. And of course, then the 42.5 is a 6% year-on-year return, and then we get the 42.5 million back at the end of the 20 years. Unlike the shares investment, well, we expect that because we expect that to earn about $4 million per year in terms of dividends, and we plan to keep that for a lot longer than 20 years.
Currently, total investments stand at $654 million in local markets, and officials say they hope to expand into international investments. Up next, how prepared are Belizean parents? Government, UNICEF, and child advocates roll out a new push to make parenting support more practical for everyday life.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
The future is calling. Belize Bank. Your future, our commitment.
In May, make Benny's your one-stop shop for appliances. Get amazing deals for mom and appliances all May long. Benny's, quality and savings.
Your security, our top priority. We guard your world with strength and integrity. From home, cars and rentals, business too. We make protection simply easy for you. BB Insurance, trusted and true. Clear policies assured. Fast claims too. No appointment needed. Just swing by. Locations countrywide where peace resides.
BB Insurance, your security, our priority. Easy. Accessible. Safe. Yours. Digi Wallet. Easy, accessible, safe, yours.
Belize is rethinking how it supports parents, and it's starting with real conversations. Earlier today, government leaders, child advocates, and UNICEF came together to discuss parenting support across the country. The Parenting Guide and Policy Validation Workshop is part of a national push to update resources and make them more practical for everyday family life. Organizers are ditching the top-down approach, bringing multiple voices to the table to develop guidance that actually works. The aim is to give parents better tools, modernize outdated policies, and create stronger, healthier homes for Belizean children. News 5's Shane Williams reports.
Parenting doesn't come with a handbook, but Belize is trying to write a good one. Child welfare advocates, government officials, and UNICEF teamed up today to sharpen the tools families rely on. At the Parenting Guide and Policy Validation Workshop, they rolled up their sleeves to review a revamped parenting guide and create a new national policy aimed at supporting moms, dads, and caregivers. The Department of Human Services Diana Pook says the initiative focuses on promoting positive parenting practices in situations unique to Belize.
After consultation, what we noted was that different organizations use different information to do their parenting workshops for parents throughout the country of Belize. We have some organizations using information from maybe the Caribbean, looking at Jamaica. Others might use information that they find online from the USA. Others might use information from Europe. So what we did, based on what we found at the consultations, we looked at what Belize has, what is culturally appropriate for Belize, and putting it both in the policy and looking at the guide as well.
Shakira Sutherland, the director of the National Commission for Families and Children, says the policy is being shaped through collaboration and consultation to ensure all well-intentioned organizations are singing from the same hymn sheet.
There are other entities that are out there doing parenting sessions as well.
And so I believe that these parenting entities do not, or they're not aware of a national parenting committee, and it's important for us to all be on the same page in terms of parenting, especially with our Belizean children. So this guide has a national policy that is going to be an overarching, has overarching factors and information in regards to our children, especially in this era.
UNICEF Belize says investing in parenting support can have long-term benefits for children and communities alike.
UNICEF, WHO, and PAHO have recognized that evidence-based parenting programs are accelerators to reduce violence, improve health and nutrition, and to accomplish the Sustainable Development Goals. And so we're here as partners to the government of Belize, COMPAR, the Ministry of Human Development, to be able to bring all the actions going on countrywide, because we have Care for Child Development, we have roving caregiver programs that are ongoing, nutrition programs, education programs, ending violence against children programs. All of this encompass parenting. Parenting is a health issue, an education issue, a social protection issue.
Organizers say the aim is to strengthen families by improving parenting support, communication, and coordination across the country. So, whether it's a mother in Corozal, Belize City, or Punta Gorda, she can access the same level of support. Shane Williams reporting for News 5.
A single viral video has done more than spark outrage. It's forced Belize to confront how it defines discipline and where it draws the line. Footage involving police officer Philip Garbett and his stepchild has ignited a fierce national debate. While many condemned the incident as abuse, others defended it as strict parenting, revealing a deep divide in public opinion. But child protection advocates say this goes beyond one troubling moment. They warn it exposes a wider issue. Belize often reacts after harm is done instead of preventing it. UNICEF Belize is now urging a shift in mindset, from outrage to action, calling for stronger efforts to stop violence against children before it starts. Here's Child Protection Officer Michelle Segura Magan.
Our role is to support the government of Belize. Currently, we're looking to strengthen the child protection coordination mechanism. Led by the Ministry of Human Development, Family Support and Gender Affairs, and the High Court, we're looking to put together a child protection coordination mechanism to be able to respond to incidences of violence against children, again, from an evidence-based approach and bringing all the actors together. Because our response to violence is that our response, we need to be proactive and look at the preventative side of it. In 2023, the first child protection system evaluation was conducted, and the evidence said just that. As a country, we need to put preventative measures in place to respond to violence in Belize.
The lasting effects of colonialism on mental health and social well-being are taking center stage this week at the 2026 International Social Work Research Conference, hosted by the University of Belize's Faculty of Health Sciences in partnership with Galen University and California Baptist University. The event brings together social workers, researchers, students, and mental health advocates for discussions on trauma, healing, and culturally responsive care. Participants are exploring how generational trauma continue to affect communities across Belize and the wider Caribbean. Their hope is that research and social work can help to create healthier and more empowered societies. However, the challenge remains seeing mental health wellness as something important to the development of Belize and not just a minor issue. After the break, frontline heroes get a surprise boost. KHMH staff get treated to a special breakfast, courtesy of the Fort George Hotel and Spa.
Electricity is essential for everyday life, but behind every outlet, a lot is happening to bring you safe, reliable, and sustainable energy. Let's start at the beginning. Independent power producers across Belize generate electricity using a mix of renewable and non-renewable resources. Electricity travels across a network of high-voltage transmission lines capable of transmitting electricity across long distances. Electricity then reaches your nearest substation, where it is adjusted to a lower voltage, making it safe to travel on the distribution lines you see in your community. From there, electricity makes its final journey from the distribution lines to your home, providing you with safe and reliable power when you need it. Belize Electricity Limited. We continue to serve you.
In Belize, change is taking shape every day. It all starts with Game Changers. Investing in modern transport, better health infrastructure, renewable power for all, digital transformation, and more opportunities for a brighter future, the European Union's Global Gateway Initiative is unlocking new potential. Game Changers are bringing this to life. Game Changers, empowering the future. Follow the EU in Belize to meet the Game Changers.
Belize wakes up connected to opportunity. And across our country, the work to keep Belize connected continues. SMART continues expanding our network across the country, bringing stronger coverage to more communities. With recent service enhancements in areas at Blue Creek and Progresso, Belize City, Orange Walk, and more on the way. We're bringing education closer to home, empowering entrepreneurs to grow their businesses, supporting industries that drive our economy, and keeping families connected wherever life takes them. With every expansion, we are investing in the infrastructure that moves Belize forward. Because connection isn't just about signal, it's about opportunity, progress, and the future we are building together. SMART, bringing people together.
Nurses care for everyone, but too often they don't get a moment to care for themselves. After long, exhausting shifts filled with non-stop patient care, many nurses skip meals and push through fatigue. So today, the Fort George Hotel and Spa hit pause on the routine, treating staff at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital to a well-deserved breakfast. More than a meal, the gesture offered something nurses rarely get during the workday. Time to breathe, connect, and feel appreciated, away from the wards and the pressures of the job.
We come together not just to share a meal, but to recognize, to reflect, and to celebrate each one of you. This year's theme is Our Nurses, Our Future, Empowered Nurses Save Lives. It's not simply a slogan, it is a clear and powerful truth that describes and defines the very foundation of healthcare. To our nurses, to each and every one of you, you are the constant in moments of uncertainty. You are the steady hands in times of crisis, the compassionate voices that brings comfort, and the skilled professionals who ensure that care is not only delivered, but delivered with dignity. Every shift you work, every patient you attend to, every decision you make shapes the outcome, restores hope, and quite literally saves lives every day. Empowerment in nursing is not an option, it's essential. It means having the training, the tools, the trust, and the support to act decisively and confidently when need to. When nurses are empowered, healthcare systems become stronger, patients' outcomes improves, and communities thrive. Simply put, when you are supported, all of us benefit.
In a profession where burnout runs high, there is a push to support nurses not just on the job, but as people, reminding them their well-being matters just as much as the patients they serve. From war-torn Sierra Leone to the southern shores of Belize, one author's journey becomes far more than a change of address. In his new book, The Road to Belonging, My Journey to Punta Gorda, Belize, Francis Mandewa shares how an unexpected spiritual connection with the people of Punta Gorda transformed Belize into home. Through personal stories, cultural discovery, and the kindness of 3 remarkable Belizean women who embraced him as family, Mandewa reflects on the last 8 years of building a life and finding belonging in Belize. He spoke with News 5 about the inspiration behind the book and the deep bond he says changed his life forever.
I came from a very, very poor background, and there was this huge diamond mining company in my home country, and there was this white man who was a pilot. His job was to transport boxes of diamonds. That's how I met Thomas Johnson, a good Christian man. He gave me opportunity, paid for my education, sent me to a Catholic boarding school. I graduated. He brought me to America. And when I retired, I said, I have to come down to Belize and retire in Punta Gorda. Now you want to ask me why Punta Gorda? Because people down there have a connection to my roots in Africa. I had the opportunity to interview 3 iconic Belizean women, and I'll begin with the Queen of Broke Dawn, Lila Vernon, in Punta Gorda. Lila was an amazing woman. During my visit, I went to her home, introduced myself. My name is Francis Mandewa, and I am from Sierra Leone. And right immediately she said, Freetown, you are welcome home. We have a connection. Belize and Sierra Leone, Belize. No, she said, in fact, there's a major street here called Freetown Road. She really made me feel comfortable and welcome.
Before we leave you, here's tonight's viewer's voice. On our first story, coastal erosion crisis drives action in Dangriga. Jamila Parish Parks commented, "The entirety of Belize is very swampy, and the country is mostly below sea level, so this will forever be a problem in many communities." Turning to a human touch keeps Belize City's e-bus riders coming back. Philip Henry shared the amazingly wonderful service from the Belize City Council staff. They are amazing and wonderful to meet and greet. I must say, no bus in the whole country cannot touch the e-bus. And finally, on digital story, overcharged on the bus? Report it, says Transport Minister. Joan Stanford shared, "What makes the situation even worse is that passengers are not being issued tickets or receipts after paying their fares. Without proof of payment, how can anyone properly report or prove that they were overcharged? This lack of transparency only protects the wrongdoing and leaves ordinary people without a voice. Passengers deserve fairness, honesty, and proper accountability. Issuing tickets should be mandatory." Thank you for engaging with us online. Your voices shape the national conversation. Keep those comments coming and we'll continue to feature them right here. And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at greaterbelize.com, on our Facebook, and on YouTube. I'm Sabrina Daly. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.